I left a ton of fucking critical details and other stuff out, but I had to. My stories would take way too long to tell you. I can make hours and hours and hours. It'd take days just to really break it all down for you. What's been going on, what's been happening to me the past 2 or more years of my life, and especially what the fuck has happened the past year, even the past 3 months, 4 months. I just want to go in a little bit deeper real quick about what the fuck actually goes on when you have a fucking spiritual entity attached to you. How my friend removed it, what a spiritual barrier is, and voice changing, and absolute proof that everything I'm fucking saying here right now, I'm not making this shit up. It's fucking for real. So, we have a chakra system. For those of you who don't know, the 7 chakras. Well, we actually have 15 or more chakras. We have a 13 or 15 chakra system. Now, that we just call them the chakra system. The 7 chakras are the main ones we know about. There are more, and there are other chakras that deal with the night. They're called talas, but that's just really advanced. And there's some that are saying that all the chakras and talas and these centers are spiritual overlay. And they have a lot of names for them, Kundalini, chakra system, the ONA tradition, they call them the blood centers. And there's a lot of fucking terminology for it. Well, let's just call it the chakra system. Some people are saying it's a alien implant, and like Kundalini is the draconian agenda or something like that. That's way too advanced. We'll get into that later, if it is or if it's not. We'll get into that way later. I don't even know. But what I will tell you is I can only speak from my own experience. I can only share with you what I fucking have to share. I cannot give you anything that I do not fucking have my fucking self. So I can only fucking share with you what I personally fucking know. What I've known and what I've fucking experienced. So, long story short, if you did not watch the last video, I insist that you go back and take your time watching it. If you don't watch it, it may be a little bit harder and difficult to follow along in this one. And long story short, I fucked up somehow. Or there was something really fucking with me from an early age. There's this very nasty spiritual entity. It was draining the fuck out of me, trying to take my fucking soul, trying to damn me while I was still in the flesh. And it was so bad, I could not astral project. Not because I was trying to astral project and it wouldn't let me astral project, but no, it was literally like my best friend told me, hey, do not astral project. If you astral project, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to get back in your own body the fucking same. That's how fucking serious this is. And I'd have reoccurring nightmares and all sorts of just nasty, horrible dreams and everything, and all sorts of problems since my dad died. But I'm not completely innocent here in this fucking matter. I got really angry at my dad. Not just because he had a fight, but it was the tip of the iceberg from all the verbal abuse, all the drinking for splitting up the family. And just to let you know, my parents got separated while I was still in my teens. Didn't get a divorce. Probably should have. But my parents were still like friends. We were living in different houses. Just a lot of chaos and just unneeded shit. And just all my trauma, all my learned helplessness, and all my just bullshit, whatever you want to call it, that was like building the fuck up inside of me. And just all my hate and negativity and all my trauma-based mind control and basically just my feeling of weakness and helplessness, I just straight up cursed my old man. Like it was nothing. And I did not even use a picture. So this is proof right away. I mean, if you really want to hurt someone, you don't even need to light a candle. I mean, I still had a black candle there, but I did not even use like a picture. I did not make a puppet of him in anything. I just visualized buying him up in a white cord. I just visualized a bubble around him, and that everything that he threw at me would be reflected back at him. I thought I was binding him at the time, but I was really cursing him. And I'll tell you how I know that for absolute sure. Because later in that summer, he went downhill very quickly. Now, he was a smoker for many, many fucking years, and he was a heavy fucking drinker up until the day he died. And he stopped smoking when I was like growing up, so he'd smoked till probably like I was 7 or 9 years old. He was a heavy alcoholic, like probably blue briefcase, fucking 3 or 5 nights a week, drinking almost every day. Was miserable, did not want to live on this planet, just a toxic individual. He was the nicest person, he was the nicest guy around when he was sober. And then when he was drinking, it was really hit or miss. Sometimes you get lucky, you'd have fun, you'd laugh with him. Later on, towards the end, he'd get meaner and meaner and nastier and just nastier. And I couldn't take that anymore. So I thought I was protecting myself, when really it was a lack of communication. I should have blessed him. I could have probably blessed him, and asked Belial to heal. But I did not ask Belial to heal. I lit a candle for Belial, and I'm like, fucking binding my old man. And if he touches or raises a hand against me again, he's going to get taken the fuck out. And, well, I'm very glad that he did not live long enough to raise another hand against me. He did not physically touch me. Maybe I wasn't specific enough. Maybe it meant verbal. Maybe I said if he physically touches me again, he'll be done. But I guess, because we did have one more mini fight within like 5 days of him fucking having the stroke. So maybe whatever spirits, whatever were fucking enforcing that, they're like, okay, I sense an argument, I sense escalation, even though I did turn it around, even though I did make friends with him again. They're like, oh, he's gonna hit John, he's gonna raise her hand or something, kill him now. I don't know what it was one of those things, but all that I know is that this fucking poisonous spiritual entity that was on me, Belial did not tell me about it. Lucifer did not tell me about it. Now am I putting the blame on them? Am I blame shifting and telling them that it's their fucking responsibility to let me know when there's something the fuck going on me? Hell no. This is my fucking fault. I'm at fucking fault here. Okay? Because I was not being the master of my fucking self. I was not being the master of my own fucking shit. As a dark Adept, it is my fucking responsibility to maintain fucking spiritual hygiene, energetic hygiene, and know exactly what the fuck is going on with me, around me, and within me at all fucking times. If I'm not cleaning my aura, if I don't even know what the fuck's in my aura, if I don't even know who the fuck I'm having interface with, then that's a problem. Hell, I mean, that may not even have been Belial at all who who answered my curse. It may not even have been him. It could have been the fucking baby Cthulhu pulling all these fucking strings the whole time, making me think that I was making progress in the left-hand path, making me think that I was fucking getting gnosis from Lucifer, making me think that I was getting gnosis from the gods, when really it was fucking Squidbilly fuckface tentacles fucking with me all along. My dad dies, and I'm immediately tormented with regret and nightmares about not undoing the binding earlier when he was still alive, about not blessing him, without trying to heal him, or, fucking go with the real reason why he's fucking doing all this drinking and shit. And the nightmares are just horrendous. Dreams of seeing my dad getting shot, to knocking on my apartment door, but when he opens up he's on peg legs and he had both of his feet chopped off, to fucking seeing him not speaking in the hospital at all, or seeing him getting worse, to fucking there was a few dreams when him and I were talking after death, of course, but they were probably memories of him, but there was no love anymore. Like, it was like, you ever read 1984, with, who was that, Winston and Julia, and they've both been processed by the fucking Ministry of Love, and they both had the rat cages placed over their heads, to the point where they betray each other. Winston betrays Julia. He says, "Do it to Julia, but don't do it to me." And Julia does the same thing. "Do it to Winston, but don't do it to me." Big Brother broke their hearts and pretty much ate their fucking souls. So when they turn them loose, Winston and Julia do sue each other. Now this isn't the book, this is the movie. Okay? This is the 50s 1984 movie, so it doesn't exactly follow the book. The book might have a different ending. I don't remember because it's been such a long time since I've listened to 1984. But basically what happens is there was like no connection anymore. Like whatever fucking love they had for each other, they had no feelings. So the dreams that I had of my dad after he died, the dreams that he could talk in the fucking dreams, it was just like Winston and Julia post Big Brothers. Like there was no emotion. It was like, fucking fine weather we're having. Yep, it sure is cloudy day today, fucking like that. And this thing was tormenting my dad in my dreams, but really what the spiritual entity did is it got my dad's soul, and it was in the process of eating my dad's soul and fucking just completely assimilating him. And I guess from the point that he died in November 2nd, 2017, till July 2019, almost 2 fucking years, this goddamn parasitical spiritual entity was basically burning him in a purgatory. It was basically burning him in his own personal hell. Because when we got him out of that purgatory, and I'll get into how the fuck we did it in a bit, we got my dad's soul back. We were able to retrieve my dad's soul, even though there wasn't much of him left. What was left of him was completely sorry for all the years of abuse and all the years of drinking. I mean, one of the things he said, and he communicated with an image, is that he showed my friend an image of himself opening up a beer bottle and then dumping the beer out onto the ground. So just cracking the beer and just dumping it all out into the ground where it belongs. Now that was what's left of my dad. But because we live in an electronic holographic universe, that little sliver of my dad that we did save is just the same as if we saved his entire soul. Because that shard can be fucking healed, and we can get his memories back, and we can recover him back. We can get him back. You know about holograms? So one little tiny bit of a hologram contains all the same genetic information to replicate the entire hologram. Just the same thing with genetic code. That's why they can clone sheeps or like certain animals and things, and all they need is a strand of hair. That one strand of hair that's got millions of fucking cells has enough fucking genetic material to recreate the entire organism. It doesn't matter if we saved like 2 or 3 memories. We got enough back that in time we can reconstruct his soul. We can give him life. And I think he's already back, because within days afterward, I was getting pizza, and my best friend, he took one of my Parmesan bread bites, and he goes to me, okay, I'm going to steal one of your bites. I have to make sure they're not poisoned. And I have not fucking heard that in years. You want to know where I heard that for? My dad. He would fucking joke about that shit all the time. I got to take some of your chips or your pretzels, corn nuts, whatever. Got to make sure they're not poisoned. And my best friend, he never fucking said that before. That is the first time he fucking joked about that shit. So, we have a chakra system. We have 7 fucking energy centers, or if you're ONA, blood centers. They correspond to the planets. So how this fucking works, I'm just moving my chair and standing up. So we have 7 primary centers in the 3rd dimension. However, we have more chakras in the higher dimensions. We have like up to like 15 or 16 chakras. But let's just focus on the main 7 that we have here. So we have the sacral chakra. This is the root chakra. It's located in your tailbone. This is what grounds you to the earth. This is your, it's red in color. It's connected to your backside. It's when you shit or excrete fluids. That has to do with that. It's the lowest of all the chakras. Lowest, not dirty or anything. It's just the closest to the earth. The next one, we have a sexual chakra, or the sacral chakra. That's at your groin area. That all has to do with sexuality, with getting erections and squirting and everything. Also, it's connected to the astral plane. And it has a lot to do with creativity and corresponds to the moon. Well, the root chakra has to do with the earth. The next one is we have our solar plexus chakra. Now, this is a very critical one, because this is where these fuckers, they like to latch on to you. They like to latch on to your solar plexus chakra, or your heart's even better. Because if they can drink from your fucking heart chakra, they can drink all your energy the fuck up. They can drink you fucking dry. Like a fucking goddamn milkshake. Your solar plexus chakra is your ego. So back to the solar plexus. Your solar plexus chakra is like your inner sun. It's not your heart, but it's the next biggest thing to it. It's basically your ego. It's what you're running in. It's your your 5 senses and that little dot between your ears, behind your eyeballs, that you experience reality through. That center inside of your brain, because you really are your brain. I mean, you are a soul, but you have a brain. You experience in the brain the ego, which is the brain center between the ears, behind the eyeballs. Everything that you use to interface with reality is your ego. Very important. It's also the gateway to your soul. If something's fucking with that, your whole perception is going to be fucked. It's going to be like someone put blinders on. You know, you could have a whole fucking meadow with rainbows, unicorns, goats, dragons, and all sorts of things, you know, going on in the periphery, going on in front of you. But then you could just have one thing in front of you. You could have a piece of shit laying in the field. You could have a piece of horse stool. But when someone's fucking with that, like these spirits, what they'll do is when you have a spirit attached to you, it blocks out, it puts a covering over your chakras so your perception is distorted. So you don't get to see the dragons, the unicorns, and all the things in the meadow. All you get to see is a turd. Have you ever been around like fucking like people that are like profoundly like negative? They can only see the negative side of things. They can only see what's wrong with the world. Or, you know, like someone's got like fucking like a glass, you know, you remember that test, like is the glass half full or half empty? Well, I'm like, oh, hey, awesome, there's room for Jim Beam. No, in all fucking seriousness, and like everybody says, it's half empty, or a new day begins, an old day dies. You know, ever had like those tests before? And like everyone, like they bitch about everything. You know, and it's not always their fault. A lot of people got these similar fucking things that I put up with that are feeding upon them. So whenever you run into a negative person, see if you can look in their aura. See if you can sense that. They're probably getting fucking fed upon by fucking spirits. They probably got something on them that's fucking feeding them, that's put the blinders on them so they can't see the rainbow. They can't see the sun in the sky. They can't hear the birds chirping. They can't hear the goats and the sheep baaing. They can't experience fucking life. All they see is tunnel vision. Like they have like a tunnel vision. Like they have like goggles. Like they have fucking like goggles on them. That's if that is you, if everything I just described is you need to get to a shaman, you need to ground, you need to start practicing Qigong and cleaning yourself immediately because you're probably getting fucking fed upon by something. Now, I'm not making this out there to put fucking fear. I'm putting this out there to fucking educate you about what the fuck is going on. This is serious shit. This is nothing to fucking play with. And I'm not giving credit to the fucking parasitical spirits. Fuck them. They don't have any jurisdiction here anymore. Their power is only what you fucking give to them. I'm here to tell you how you can remove them from your fucking self and you can just fucking breathe and just actually have your own fucking thoughts for a minute. How'd you like that? To actually think thoughts that are your own. They're your own thoughts. Are you thinking your own thoughts right now? Or are you thinking someone else's thoughts? Are you thinking a spirit's thoughts right now? These are the fucking questions you need to be asking yourself. Alright, if something's fucking with your solar plexus chakra really, really bad, very bad. If it's on any chakra, it's bad. But these motherfuckers, they like to hook onto the solar plexus and or the heart. Now, the heart chakra, this is even worse if they got your heart chakra. If they got your heart chakra, they can key directly into your soul. If they got hooked onto any chakra, they can fuck with your soul. But if they can get into the heart chakra, that's very, very, very bad, and this is why. The heart chakra is your seat of your own inner Godhead. Okay? And not many This is not very known. Not many occult lodges speak about this. But the heart is the fucking seat of true wisdom and knowledge. The heart is your source of your emotions. It's also the source of all magical and occult powers. Come from your heart center. It's also the seat of Creator Source, aka the unknowable one, the pure spirit. Now, I'm going to make a whiteboard video on these things. I'll do another whiteboard video on this later, but I want to mention real quick, there is this Gnostic Greek archetype called akephalos, meaning the headless one. This, in my opinion, is the closest thing, god or archetype or name that you can get to the source. Okay? Now, who is akephalos? He is the headless angel, the headless daemon. He's a man, he holds his own head severed in one hand, and his heart is in the place of his head. So he's holding his head in his hand, and his heart is where his head should be. And a lot of depictions, they have a serpent coiled around that heart. For thy name is a heart girded by a serpent. Come forth and follow. That is from the invocation of the Headless One. Very powerful Gnostic rite from God form assumption from the Greek magical papyri. I consider it an exorcism, because when you tap into that akephalos, that creator source, that unknowable spirit, all the other bullshit is just going to get burned the fuck out. It's going to get holocausted. And that's why these motherfuckers, they want to get into your heart, because they want to block that. They want to stop that akephalos, headless one activation. They want to stop that activation from happening, because once that fucking happens, that process happens, all the other bullshit and all the fucking negativity and everything that's holding you the fuck back is going to get basically put in the oven and gassed 6 million times. And the gold teeth and everything and whatever's left is going to get extracted, and it's going to be reintegrated into your fucking system. Solar plexus is gold. Has to do with the sun. I think heart chakra is green and is related to Venus. Next chakra, your throat chakra. So the infection. Don't ever own the disease. When you talk about something, when you are trying to tell someone about asthma or you experience something, do not own the disease, because you're binding it to yourself. So if you experience inflammation or inflammatory arthritis and you call in sick, never say my arthritis. Never own the disease. Say the arthritis or the collapsed lungs, the asthma attack. Just some occult wisdom here. So the next fucking chakra there is blue. It's called the throat chakra, and it's related to Pluto. Now this chakra is what is everything to do with communication. Everything to do with communication. Self-expression, fucking talking, fucking artisticness, even though the sexual sacral chakra is also a lot to do with creativity, but they're not compartmentalized. The chakra system is a holistic system, and the different chakras interact and work with each other. So if you have a problem in your heart chakra, your solar plexus and your sacral is going to get deprived as well. and there's going to be some problems eventually going to be going on with your throat chakra. This is why it's so fucking critical not to have any fucking entities feeding off of you, because they can cause so much fucking bullshit, so much hell, and just not Lucifer's Gunungagat flames of hell. I mean horrid. So much horrible shit will go on if you're fucking if you're getting fed upon. Everything to do with expression, communication, and when the infection got so bad, not only was it drinking well, it was drinking a lot from my heart chakra, it was starting to attack my throat chakra. And this is when I got high by accident. Fucking got into brownie, and I didn't even fucking confirm or deny that I didn't confirm that it was a fucking drug brownie. Just really stupid, just shit like that, you know. When it had all the warning signs, it was wrapped in foil. It was just fucking in an odd place, like it was hidden away. Well, hidden in plain sight. You know, just fucking... But when it happened, though, that fucking... My barriers got even thinner, and this fucking bullshit entity got inside, and it tried to rip out my throat chakra, causing me to astral project, borderline astral project. And it was trying to get my fucking soul. It was trying to pull my soul out through my throat chakra. And for the next 2 fucking weeks, no, like the next month, after that, I recovered, of course. It did not go insane. I still got some strong PTSD from the fucking psychedelic experience. I don't give a fuck about smoking marijuana. It's bullshit. But edibles, your first time doing an edible, it's going to be like you ate a bunch of mushrooms or did acid. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck if you're an edible veteran. You're fucking lying. Edibles are psychedelic, and if you have enough of them, you will have a fucking psychedelic experience. Especially if they're homemade. It was one of those fucking homemade fucking brownies that were so like fucking THC loaded, you could taste the fucking hemp. It probably had like 200 grams or something. 200 milligrams or like 50 or 100 milligrams of fucking THC. I still got long-lasting PTSD from it. It can be healed. It's going to be fucking healed when we go through all this fucking shit. It tried to fucking take me through my throat chakra. So, also, the throat chakra has to do with emotional expression too, just similar with the heart chakra. So whenever you cry or you get like a knot in the throat, or you're fucking just feeling like really sad and you're having a hard time communicating, people with autism, nonverbal autism, they probably got something that's sucking off their throat chakra. And when you cry, you get like a fucking, it feels like your throat's closing up, or like a dull ache in your throat. Your throat ain't actually swelling up, it's your throat chakra fucking purging itself. It's making removing a blockage. Then we have the 5th chakra, which is in the center of your skull. It's not the 3rd eye. The 3rd eye is its own little like mini chakra, if you can count it as that. This has to do with and that and the 3rd eye, they work in conjunction together, and that has to do with the fucking higher knowledge, higher fucking consciousness, fucking, you know, accessing your multi-dimensional self. And the crown chakra is where energy comes out of the top of your head, and it comes down in a torus, a donut-shaped energy to the bottom of your feet, and it goes back up and it goes around again. And the crown chakra is very interesting, where a lot of interesting stuff can happen when you're having a spiritual awakening, or you're having interface with a spirit, or an invocational possession with an entity. Sometimes they'll enter through your back or something, and then they'll push out through your crown chakra. Now I've had this before with some of my draconian experience there. I never got far into Asnath Mason or a draconian current because I hit that fucking ceiling early on with the clipothic work. And when my vinyl print of Lucifer from the Primal Craft website was on its way from Spain over to New York, I could feel its energy. I could feel it coming in my direction. And I have some experiences there. Well, I don't know if I still have the video up there, maybe private or something, where I'm talking about this, and basically I had a satanic experience, very empowering and a very beautiful experience though, where I had like horns, like pressing out the top of my skull, like a sensation of like a crown of horns just coming out of my crown chakra, just these changes to my soul just happening. So the crown chakra has to do with that. Or if you're doing an alchemical transformation from within, if you're fucking with your own astral body, you're playing with shape-shifting, or fucking, working on turning into a wolf form, or a dragon form, or a different animal, you may feel horns or ears, or like, shit like that coming out of your crown. Your crown will buzz, really, really buzz hard too. Buzzing of the abyss. But also, interesting enough, the same buzzing when you astral project. Very interesting. Makes me wonder here if the astral and the abyss is the same thing. The astral is within the abyss. Well, the earth is fucking quarantined, it's surrounded by a bunch of bullshit right there. So if you're astral projecting, you're working in those lower grid works, you are within the Tesseract, you are within the Ouroboros, in the abyss. That's not what this video is about though. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, I'm not a fucking teacher, I'm no fucking guru. I am not a fucking shaman. I am nothing right now. I'm just fucking a voice that you're listening to that's just rambling and rambling and rambling. Take everything you hear with a grain of fucking salt. Or make your own fucking conclusion. If you decide, hey, maybe I should listen to him, and maybe I should check myself for spiritual entities that are trying to feed off of me, or maybe I should clear myself. Great for you. Fucking do that. Now, I heard there's some more chakras that are like beyond the crown chakra, and they have to do with the hyper-dimensional self. They have to do with they're beyond the lower astral grid works. So the 7 chakras, they deal immediately with the 3rd and 4th dimensions. And there's chakras that deal with, I don't know what deals with the 5th dimension. Then there's the 8 through 12, or the 8 through 14 chakras deal with dimensions 7 through 9, 7 through 10. But numbers just arbitrary. Basically, the chakras beyond the 7 just have to deal with what is beyond the abyss, what is beyond the fucking Tesseract and the fucking Ouroboros. But basically, your soul is pure consciousness, and these blood centers are basically has to do with the planets. Now, the heavens above are within. This floor that I just tapped on, that is within. Everything is within you. All of reality, the whole of the earth, and all of the stars. And you look up in the sky and you stare at that deep black night in between the stars. You're staring into yourself. When you look at Venus or Mars through a telescope, or you look at the craters on the moon, you are looking at yourself. When you look into the planets, you look into the various heavenly bodies, we're looking into yourself. You are infinity. You are boundless. You have no fucking limitation whatsoever. So, the planets, think of them as your macrocosmic chakras. Now, this is a subject for a later video, but we are not governed by astrology. We make the planets revolve around us because the planets are within. So we have the 7 blood centers, the 7 chakras within us. But the planets above in the sky, you can think of them as your hyper chakras or your super, macrocosmic chakras. Macrocosm and microcosm. So you have the microcosmic representation of the solar system, of the star system within your soul. And these planets they act as stargates or gateways to basically channel, to basically dilute the infinite, raw, boundless power of the absolute, of creator source, if you want to call it that. So it doesn't immediately rip you apart or drive you insane. There has to be dampeners. And these planetary stargates are like various colored lenses. Think of a big, raw, like laser beam, just coming right at you. And you gotta have these lenses to bounce it off and refract it. Refract these lenses, so that way you don't just get blown the fuck up and just driven insane. The pure, raw fucking consciousness. That is the primal womb of eternal darkness. That Gnunga chaos. The chaos flames. For which everything from existence spawns. They're not evil. They're not malignant. They're not good either. They just are. It's just the primal womb that has everything. And that is the seat of our deepest, deepest, most subconsciousness within our soul. So raw, so powerful. These fires, they burn forever and they sustain us forever. That is why there is no death. That is why you can kill someone's body, but their soul will not die. Now the soul can be fucked with. Their soul, if something's that evil enough, and just on that fucking level, and that ancient and that powerful enough, yes, they can drink the memories and make someone forget, but you can never really erase someone's true soul identity, because you may erase the personality, but the soul identity is no identity. It's everything. It's the universe. So what happens is that the Creator Source pours into your soul to sustain your life, and it bounces off these planetary bodies, both within the sky, out there, and within you. And this manifests as your chakra system. And this is what gives you your unique your unique blueprint, your uniqueness. Now what will happen is we have something called aura. And when all your chakras are functioning properly and everything, not only do they have enough power to power your body and give you health, but they also have enough power to power your aura, your auric field, which is your torsion ring, which is a vortex shaped like a donut. It's similar to what, just Google Rodin coil, Mark Rodin, torsion field. It looks like a galactic donut, like a quasar or something. And this is what keeps the baddies, the nasties. Earth also has one too. Earth has a polar magnetic field, North Pole and South Pole. And this is what keeps the baddies and the fucking nasties and the spiders and the baby Cthulhus and the things off of you. But what happens is, when you fuck with your system by taking a lot of drugs, excuse me, drugs or alcohol or just not getting rest and just not taking care of yourself will create gaps in this auric field, and this will allow the bad lower bullshit. Just taking my inhaled portable steroid. The controller. It'll allow them to get into your shit, your reality field, and it will drink from your fucking chakras. It'll drink from these fucking stargates. Now, normally the chakras, they have openings only on the poles. So what this allows is for them to communicate with the other chakras and nothing else, or distribute energy throughout your system. Now, if these fuckers get past your aura, what they can do is, if they're strong enough, or if they hit it enough times like a battering ram, over and over and over and over again, they can fucking pierce into those little quasars and little galaxies, active galaxies you got turning inside of you, and they can directly drink from the energy of your chakra and feed off of it. Now, this is very fucking critical, and you need to ask yourself these types of questions. What kind of trauma or suffering have you been through? Because everybody goes through shit. Everybody has some kind of trauma in their life. Have you had death? Have you had disease? Have you had suffering? You gotta ask yourself. Because I am not of the philosophy that whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger. That's incomplete. Whatever doesn't kill me can drive me insane, make me permanently sick, or make me a host to some other thing. Whatever fucking doesn't kill me only makes me stronger if I fucking am able to transmute and heal that shit 110%. Like a workout, if I can tear my muscles just enough, doesn't make me stronger. I only get stronger if my muscles fucking heal themselves and then build some extra fibers around there. That's when you get stronger. Don't fucking say that you're strong when you're in the middle of a fucking trauma. Wait till you fucking bounce the fuck back. This is not anti-Nietzschean right here. This is saying, the reason why I'm saying this is that whatever doesn't kill you will only make you stronger if you fucking heal and transmute that poison into fucking light. Because these motherfuckers, they get into your chakras by trauma. So if you have a sudden death in your family, or you fucking got over encumbered by fear, if you got, whatever it is that you're on, if something happened and somehow, I'm going to quote Aleister Crowley real quick here. Whomsoever, whether it's frightened, whosoever is frightened, discouraged, or thrown from his path comes into direct conflict with the universe itself and suffers accordingly. Now, I probably butchered the fuck out of that quote, but I put emphasis on the universe. It's not the universe, it's the you. It's you. It's the universe. So what Crowley is telling us, that if you're on the right path, and you let fear get the better of you, and you let these fucking bullshit parasitical entities that are feeding off you, gaslighting you into basically just throwing everything away, breaking all your pacts and everything that you made to yourself or to your archetypes or whatever that you're working with, or you get to the point like where I did, where you just burn a lot of your drawings or writings. I did that. I burned fucking. I still fucking punching myself in the head for this. But after removing the fucking bullshit entity, I burned a lot of drawings and writings that I suspected were in connection or inspiration from said parasitical entity, but didn't have 100% confirmation that they were evil and were tainted and had to go. It sucks, because a part of me felt like I was burning a part of myself. But I can always redraw them without this fucking spiritual entity, because I do not have it on me anymore. I am free from it. And so I can always draw even better pictures. What I'm saying is here, if you're on the path, you're acting courageous, you're on the hero's journey, and for whatever reason, you let other people stop you. You let your neighbors or your normie NPC friends or NPC mom or NPC dad fucking tell you to no Johnny, you can't have a band, you can't play death metal, you'll fucking live in the gutter, you'll sleep in the dumpster and fucking be panhandling for beer money. Or no, you can't do that, you'll never do that. If you let the inner critic get the better of you, if you let the outer critic get the better of you, if you let fear get the better of you, you come into conflict with the universe, which means you come into conflict with yourself, and you suffer tremendously because you are in conflict with your fucking self. Do you see where I'm fucking going here with this shit? And these kinds of traumas and self-betrayals and self-sabotages are the exact kind of fucking trauma that these fuckers need to get inside of your chakras and start feeding off of you. Now, there are other traumas besides self-betrayal there, but self-betrayal is their favorite one, because if they can make you self-betray, then that was a litmus test. That pretty much tells them that you're under their mind control. And they've got control of your mind. If they can make you doubt yourself, gaslight yourself, go against yourself, they can make you do just about everything. Anything they want you to do. Now, if they can't get you in that way, they'll do their best to basically grind you down and wear you the fuck down. And the thing they love the most to do that is they love to kill your friends and family. They love to kill people around you. They just love to create havoc, chaos in your life. You could be fine. You could be doing great. Best Christmas, Yule season ever. You can have like family over for like the holidays, whatever, and then just out of the blue, like your ma gets cancer or something, or you're just everything's like going too good, like it's like the perfect day. Like everything's going so well, and all of a sudden, boom. Like your friend, best friend, gets fucked up in a wreck or something, or someone gets a broken leg or to an accident. This is not just accident. There are spirits actively working out in the world. They are actively working out there. And they're constantly throwing this shit at you to fucking slow you the fuck down. Adversity is fucking real. And there are no fucking accidents. I mean, yeah, there's accidents due to negligence and fucking not paying attention, someone, you have like a roller coaster that's like 100 years old and it hasn't been oiled and like the fucking, the trains and the little coaster tracks haven't been maintained over the years. Like, yeah, there's that. Those accidents happen. But also, too, there is a number of deciding factors and external forces and external spiritual entities that aren't really external. They're really distortion is all they are. The distortion coming from within, and they make you more accident prone. And then boom, death happens or this happens, and they got what they need. They got what they need to suck you into that depression, to suck you into that little black hole of negativity so they can fucking get to you. You have to be aware of this shit, and you have to be on fucking top of it so you can fucking identify when you think this fucking kind of shit is happening with you. Now, let's talk about a little bit about Qigong and energy movement. So any kind of work with your energy is work with your whole body. So it's good to stretch, it's good to do yoga, it removes blockages and gets all your energy flowing. But if you do one or the other, the other is going to come. It's just the nature of things. So if you start working with your hands or like Qigong and stuff, your chakras are going to improve. Or if you are doing like chakra meditations, you're spinning your chakras or whatever, then your Qigong is going to improve. It goes hand in hand. But if you... Fuck! Fucking hiccups. If you do everything, the yoga, the gong, and the chakra meditations and daily auric cleansing is your best bet and is where you're going to have the fastest springboard evolution. Now, the coolest part about Qigong work is you don't have to work with any spirits. You don't have to invoke any spirits or anything like that, or work with entities if you don't want to. This is a purely human artwork and it comes from within. You move energy and circuit, and a lot of martial arts are actually Qigong exercises, So when you see the karate, masters and like the Taekwondo practitioners, you're having these serpentine-like dances, that's not just for show. That's fucking real. They're fucking moving energy and circulating energy throughout their body. Now, if you watch this channel by now, I expect you, I'm not going to go over the basics here. But I do expect some level of knowledge here. Like the knowledge that there is no matter. Everything is made up of light. Crystallized light. Everything is a crystalline vibration. There is a visible light, and there is an unlight, the non-light. Then there is the higher light beyond the light that only looks like darkness because it's vibrating so fucking chaotically and just everything that it can't make a tangible form. It can't formulate a concrete fucking thought. It's just so chaotic. That's Ginunga Gap. That's the primal womb. It just is. From this chaos comes a light. from that light, the photons and the subatomic particles, they slow down to crystalline light. From that light, you get matter. Because all fucking materia, 90% empty space, it's just a repelling magnetic force. It gives the illusion of solidity. Your chakras work in the same way. As above, so below, so within, so without. So we have external hardness, and then we have the astral plane, which is just as real, just as existing as a physical plane. It's just a more progressive timeline. Now, those of you who had lucid dreamed and you were able to control your dreams, you just astral projected, you visited the astral world. That is why when you think something in a lucid dream, it fucking happens right away, because it is a more progressive timeline. It is a very progressive timeline, where the particles and vibrations are vibrating so much faster that your thoughts will directly influence them within seconds. Whereas on Earth, it takes time. It takes sweat, tears, labor, and fucking money to fucking make anything happen. But in these astral and higher planes that are not this fucking, just been fucking weighed the fuck down, you know, by gravity and by fucking just time. These more progressive timelines, you think it happens. So they're just as physical. They're not liquid or anything. A lot of fucking idiots out there say the astral isn't a physical plane. They say it's spiritual or some dumb shit. No, 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 no. The astral plane, in the heavens, even hell, even the Christian heaven, those are all material planes. Only one thing is spirit. The one thing is spirit is the acausal, eternal, timeless, unknowable spirit of the unknowable one. The creator source, the Gununga gap, the primal womb, the very pure essence of what is occult, that is spirit. Because it's undefined. It is unformed, formless, immaterial, eternity. Anything else? Heavenly realms, Sephirotic realms, Clitothic realms, spheres on Yggdrasil, spheres on the Tree of Weird. Any realms between Asgard, Midgard, Niflheim, astral planes, they're all material planes, just vibrating at different frequencies and on just different levels of progressiveness. So Earth, being one of the very, very, very slowest, least progressive timelines, one of the longest moving timelines, it takes one of the most effort to actually get anything done. Now, Earth is not actually the worst progressive timeline. There are actually places that are even slower than Earth. But Earth is one of those slow progressive timelines that it seems like a prison, but it really isn't. It isn't a prison as long as you just work hard at it. You can manifest what you want. So your chakras will create the magnetic repulsion and create your aura to keep out the baddies and the spiritual entities. Now, when you come along the path, and I come along, and I go along this path, I'm going to have to learn how to do all this my fucking self. And I'm quite terrified of it because I did not have the discipline. I really should be taking the martial arts or just doing yoga, doing something every day. But basically, what you push forward of your hands happens. Fucking pyrokinesis, telekinesis, all this shit is fucking real. And it all has to do with your psychic energy. We already have these powers. We have them right now. And you use them sometimes you don't even realize you're using it. Have you ever been a kid, playing like Dungeons and Dragons or something, and like you ever made your finger like a gun on the playground and you blast someone, bang, I shot you. You did shoot that person, just not with a physical gun. You shot them in the astral plane. You blasted a bullet out of your fingertip. Or have you visualized yourself shooting lightning bolts out of your hand? That's 100,000% fucking real. It's happening in the mental and astral planes. We already have these abilities. We just forgot how to fucking use them. So, we can move objects, we can move astral matter, we can control our dreams, we can circulate energy through our bodies, we can circulate heat through our hands, and it gets to the fun part. We can even put up spiritual barriers around ourselves, and we can banish any fucking bullshit entity that we don't like to bumfuck nowhere in the fucking 26,000th abyss level. Or whatever. We can banish them to fuck where. So, it pretty much works like any other energy work where you're pushing energy in your hand. You just send the energy where you want it to go, and it pretty much goes there. So, it was sucking off my heart chakra pretty fucking bad. And I had like no energy to do this myself. So my friend, he had to put the spiritual barrier around me just so I could have a breathing chance to fight back, because this thing was a motherfucker. Was a bad fucker. And he wasn't just going to do all the fighting himself. I had to do some fighting with it too. So he put up the spiritual barrier so that when it's time for him to eat the entity and take it off me, I wouldn't be influenced by it. So it's just like building up your aura. But instead of just sending someone positive vibes to patch a hole in the aura, you're concentrating it on a specific chakra. It's just like that. And he pumped a lot of energy. You just pump a lot of energy. So if someone's getting fed upon, now I recommend you get good at Qigong first before you did this. I never done this before, but I may very well have to do this for someone else. And of course I'm going to have to do this for myself. You're going to place both palms of your hand on the person's chakra, and you're just going to, on the person's back, you have them sit in lotus position, and lean into your back like this. You put both your hands on their spine, because that's where the chakras are located. They're on the spine, and that's also easier to access than pumping energy from the front. You can pump energy from the front. It's just you're closer to the chakra if you're pushed through the backside on the spine. And you just pump all the energy. You pump your energy into this person's chakra. You visualizing it. You make it as thick as you can. Make it like a fucking coconut thick. Like 2-3 inch thick shell. And make sure you put an outer layer on it. And while you're doing this in your mind, to yourself, you're going to be like, I am placing a spiritual barrier around this person's heart center. I am placing a spiritual barrier around John's heart. I am fucking empowering John. I'm placing an impenetrable spiritual barrier around John's heart chakra. And you're going to visualize it like a sun, like a golden white light. And then, when you're done, you're going to put one last burst of energy into that spiritual barrier. And you're going to visualize it like fucking clear iron. You're going to create an iron layer, but clear. Transparent iron. Very, very tough shell like crust like the skin of a coconut, that these fucking insectoids and fucking squids and these things can't get into. You're gonna visualize that, and you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna make it, you know, and it's gonna sound like putting a spiritual barrier on. I didn't ask my friend what it sounded like, but if you just use your imagination, build up the spiritual barrier, maybe you're building a sun, you know, maybe it makes an armor sound or something. Don't try to control it or change it, because it should flow naturally, and that's because it's actually the higher forces and the higher selves working through you and actually creating the specific type of armor, that specific type of vibration that that person needs. And you're good. Now, spiritual barriers, they can last for a while. As long as they're not getting fed upon, as long as they're not getting constantly assaulted by entities, I mean, they'll last a while. But when they are getting assaulted by entities, they can't take a beating. The spiritual barrier can last for a few days. Now, for me, this spiritual barrier was almost like 2 weeks. It was almost like 3 weeks, because he put so much spiritual energy into me, and sometimes my back warms up a bit. So that spiritual barrier might still be there, or I might have already integrated my friend's energy into my systems. I don't know. But that spiritual barrier fucking stuck up for a while. And ideally, when you put a spiritual barrier around someone, you're going to want to remove the entity as soon as possible. But give it a day or two so it can starve. Okay? Now these entities are very weak. They're very, very disgusting and pathetic. They go after the weakest. They're like lions. If any of you know, lions are fucking scumbags. They go after the cubs. They kill children. They go after the sick zebras and the weak animals. Like, lions don't even work a day in their fucking life. You want a fucking noble fucking animal, take a fucking wolf. Or take an eagle. Take a wolf, you know. They have to hunt. They have to look for the food. Or take a smaller cat like a leopard or a cheetah. They have to run 60 miles an hour at full speed just to catch up to a gazelle or a deer or something. But lions, they don't do that. They just pick on the fucking slow and the sick and the weak. They kill the cubs of the fucking opposing lions. Rivalries, you know. And basically, a lot of people are getting fed upon by these fucking bullshit entities. And they really depend on us being ignorant about it. They really fucking depend on us not knowing what to do, not just not fighting back. Oh, my back's just warm right now. Not kidding you, where he placed that spiritual barrier, it's starting to get a little warm again. I'm starting to feel it. Now, another reason why you want to place a spiritual barrier around someone, and this is very fucking important, you have to separate the fucking parasitical spiritual entity from that person's soul. Because as long as that fucking spiritual entity is hooked in to a chakra, then they're through that fucking event horizon. They're through that Stargate, and they're drinking into the soul. And I actually had a dream about this. So when you try to pull off the spiritual entity like a fucking string of beads, it's going to start pulling that person's chakras and soul out with it. This is very, very important, because if you don't have that spiritual barrier, if you don't cut off the motherfucker from its food supply and you try to remove it, you're going to cause a lot more damage than good. You're going to end up probably even killing that person just trying to remove it, because if you pull off the spiritual entity, it's going to pull off that person's soul out of the body with it. So that is why, the real reason why my friend put that spiritual barrier around my heart chakra, so he could remove the fucking entity without him removing my soul. And my dream confirmed this. And later. Alright, when you have a spiritual pressure inside of you that is not from your own energy signature, you're going to take on some of those traits. This did not happen immediately. It took it a few days for my body and my subsystems to begin to integrate some of my friend's energy. And also the Monday morning that I screamed and I basically performed an exorcism of the bullshit entity and put it into the Dybbuk box, did my voice begin to change later on that day. Now, to prove to you that my voice changed, I have a video clip I recorded of me playing with my dog, Merle, shortly after my friend removed the parasitical entity. I want you to listen very closely.
The black spirit and the recording. I'll let you know when it ends.
See, well, you gotta grab the bowl and somehow when it falls out of his mouth.
All right. Got it.
Oh shit! Damn.
Black and white has nothing to do with me. As long as they can treat you like a lady. Amy, you think that Tracy does have issues with the men you date? Yes. And why does she have issues with them? Because of their race. It's been like that my whole life. You went to court and got a restraining order against Tracy at some point.
You have to do with horses and animals. Don't. You can try to knock it out of his mouth.
You know when you do hair and the rubber bands are split in the hair sometimes. She called me and said my daughter was dirty because she had lint in her hair. This is my 4-year-old now. And I said it's normal for a child to have lint in their rubber band. Right, exactly. And she kept calling. She sent the police to my house. I had literally just got pulled up to the house from daycare.
You better not put this online because this is child dog abuse. Get you.
He's got freaking cattle ranches in the floor. Bruises. Cowboys in the floor.
Who have you been getting into it? I got into it with my sister last night. They said you need to go tomorrow and get a restraining order.
Lower it down. Yeah, so he'll like run right through it. Yeah. Good.
Got it.
Good.
Gotcha, buddy.
How you get out of his mouth now?
Now we got control of it. Now we just control the dog.
Okay.
Control the dog like this. Okay? And you just grab it. Just pull him off the ground. There. There, you got it.
Now we know how to get stuff out of his mouth now. Mr. Caesar, the last thing.
Yep, like rounding up cows. And then press that black spirit and the...
Okay, to give you a little bit of background knowledge to this clip. So, my dog Merle, he's only about 15 months old, and he's intact. He loves to get a lot of fucking shit in his mouth. So Labradors are very high energy dogs. They love to get stuff and like toys and things in their mouth. They like to get soft things. So like we don't have anything in our living room. We have it very Spartan. In like movie cases, CD cases, jewel cases, fucking TV remotes, fucking everything we have in that living room upstairs is above waist level. It's like chest level. Because anything that's waist level or below, he'll get a hold of it, and it's horrid to get anything out of his mouth. Like, his biting power is like the jaws of fucking life. He gets a bowl in his mouth or a fucking, or steals one of my socks from my room downstairs. Like, it is a fucking wrestling with fucking Yahweh to get the fucking whatever it is out of his mouth. It is a motherfucker to get whatever he's got in his mouth to get it out. So what I did is I have his red lead, and I inverted to make like a lasso, like they used to basically round up escaped cattle. And I had a loop, like a snare, and I dangle it there, and basically I was playing rodeo with him. My mom, who doesn't really understand male dogs and boys, she thought I was abusing Merle, but we can clearly see. I'll post a clip of the video just so you can see what's going on there. He's clearly enjoying himself there. He thinks this is a game, and so I throw the lead over his neck and I tighten it there just so I get control over his head. And then from there on, I grab the bull, the plastic bull. He's biting on it so hard that when I go to lift him up off the ground, it's like lifting him. He's a 50-pound dog, and it's lifting him up off the ground with it. Okay? Now this is after he removed the fucking spiritual entity from me. Now I have another clip for you. This is from YouTube. I have a couple of videos where you can see me where I'm at my absolute worst, where I'm in the absolute bottom of the fucking abyss, where you can hear the difference. Okay, I'm going to play two videos. So the first video is actually my first YouTube video that I made for this channel. The video was a transformation through suffering video, and video about the Draconian Ritual book, and this was filmed in the hospital room.
Final video for this evening. It's after 4 o'clock in the morning, and the nurses are starting to bitch at me, saying I should get some sleep and all that. So, this is the video I've been wanting to do all night long, but I just had these other like random thought dumps first, and
Okay, it wasn't my first video. It was actually my second or third or fourth. Okay, now let's compare this. Let's compare this with what we got to this clip. Alright. This is 2016, November 2nd.
It's after 4 o'clock in the morning, and the nurses are starting to bitch at me. I gotcha, buddy.
How you get out of his mouth now?
Now we got control. Now we just control the dog.
Okay.
Control the dog like this. Saying I should get some sleep and all that. So This is the video I've been wanting to do all night long, but I just had these other like random thought dumps first. Okay, and you just grab it, just pull them off the ground. There you got it. And I had to, express, and get out there before they were lost forever. But basically, this right here.
You can clearly tell there's a solid fucking difference in as I sound right now, and especially as I sound in this clip that I recorded in late July of me playing with my dog. I sound a lot different than how I fucking sounded back in 2016. I don't have that little whiny, passive bitch voice. You don't hear that. You don't hear fucking slavery in my fucking voice. You hear awesomeness. You hear masculinity. You hear authority through my fucking words. Now, I'm going to do another comparison with you, and this is a video that I made in October of 2018. So I'm going to play the video, some of the video, and then we're going to do the clip comparison. Just making sure that the marker's where I want it.
You just grab it. Just pull. Show the dog.
Yep. Okay. All right. 2018.
On in my life here, I haven't gotten around to much occultism and nature rituals lately. I'm doing a lot of smaller rituals, a lot of protection stuff, basically LBRP and Kabbalistic cross, but with visualizations and names from the Inferion deck of the Lenten Scatter. It's very potent.
I sound like a fucking just total like D&D nerd.
Gotcha, buddy.
How you get out of his mouth now?
I have my abdomen above my head, and I vibrated and I felt pressure in my third eye, and, vibrating adrenaline, drawn out. Now we got control. Now we just control the dog.
Okay.
Control the dog like this. Okay? And you just grab it. Just pull him off the ground. There. There, you got it.
Now we know how to get stuff out of his mouth now. Mr. Stevens, the last few things,
Yep, like rounding up cows.
Yeah.
And then
It's two completely different fucking people. Two completely. There's no discussion here.
Zuzu's wings, just like growing out of my back. It's fucking.
I mean, there's more rasp. There's more rasp in my fucking voice with the dog one for sure. Now the 2018 one, there's fluctuates. There's little like bitchy voice, like not so sure of myself. Just fucking not much authority.
Awesome. As I mentioned the names, I'm going to have to do this ritual, of course, to maintain respect for it. So stick around. You'll probably.
And of course, all these unlisted videos, I'm going to put the links for everything that I use in the description that you can hear. I don't know if this is a good comparison, the October 2018 one, because this is when I just started doing this. Oh wow, I thought I started it on around Samhain. No, I've been doing this for all of October too, so I'm doing that for well over 100 days. Let me find you one of my February videos, because I know February or January videos is definitely when I really hit the fucking rock bottom and got my depression and everything. So I'm going to do one more fucking voice comparison for you. Go watch. I have more videos than that. Okay. I remember making this one. This is around December. There's a movie on my other channel called The Goat Lodge where I talk about the movie Event Horizon. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's probably not a fair comparison because I'm whispering and trying to keep my voice down. I switch channel here. I'll get the unlisted video on. Okay. Okay, the Crowleyan versus Cytherian clip both in the fucking Event Horizon video.
Sam Neill plays that slick Irish boy, aerospace engineer and doctor.
Okay, that was a video from December 15th. Then we're just going to play that fucking dog clip again.
Just pull him off the ground. There. There, you got it.
Alright, now I got one of my whiteboard, unlisted whiteboard videos up there. I'll put that video link in the description.
This Goat Lodge presentation, I'm going to be taking a look at one of my new favorite authors, and what I'd say is probably one of the most satanic authors in existence, Giles Level. In the book, we're examining the Sacerdotum Umbrae Mortis, priesthood of the Valley of the Shadow Pit. This is a qliphothic work and a vampiric, and book with some necromantic aspects. The main backbone of this book was that Giles de Laval presents an alternative clipboard rewritten with corrected Hebrew.
Good.
Got it!
Good.
Gotcha, buddy.
How you get out of his mouth now?
Now we got control. Now we just control the dog.
Okay.
Control the dog like this. Okay? And you just grab it. Just pull him off the ground. There. There you go.
I can hear a fucking difference for sure. Yeah, when you take someone else's energy into you, you're going to take on the aspects of the person. Now, it's no different than working with spirits. If you have take a spirit into you, I mean, voice changing is always natural. Sometimes even the colors of the eyes can change. The whole point of doing the video comparison was just to prove to you that my voice did get a bit of a deeper rasp, and I started to sound more like my friend who put up the spiritual energy. And I absolutely did sound like my friend because I have this energy inside of me. I have a part of his soul. It's now forever integrated into my system. And last but not least, when I was screaming that I rejected the parasitical entity, that I was letting it fucking know that it was getting fucking evicted from my personal reality field, and I will not give it any more time of the fucking day or night. I got in a wicked bear hug. It tried to fucking kill me. It did not want me to finish the ritual, but I fucking persevered. I drove the fucking nails to that fucking goddamn squid. And I was growling. It was fucking bestial. I was howling like a wolf. I was snarling, just frothing at the fucking mouth. Like, I fucking found a fucking insane hatred for evil, an insane hatred for low astral parasites, for whatever was trying to kill me that I didn't even knew that I had. I found a fucking just new level of anger, a new level of wrath that I've kind of always knew existed, but I didn't know I was capable of, or that I was denying it, that I didn't want to embrace it. And finally I embraced that fucking purifying blue flame, smokeless fire, Ganunga flame of the Absolute. It just fucking just burn it the fuck out. I was growling and howling. It was I did hurt my vocal cords a little bit because I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Yeah, it felt like I swallowed boiling water. And that's when my voice started cracking and started getting deeper. And it continued to get deeper for the next few days, and it stayed deep, that deep for like a fucking week. Then my higher elevated levels of energy in my throat chakra activation began to reintegrate with my systems. And I'll bet you right off that as they continue upon the true path of the true occultism, that the more my blood codes continue to fucking activate, my voice is going to continue to change. It's going to get deeper. It's going to fluctuate. It's going to fucking deepen when I'm in the fucking truth, when I'm in the fucking flow. And then if I step out of truth or something, or go back into ignorance, the little bitchy subcaprine voice is going to return. And really, it has to do with clearing your fucking shit. Because I cleared thing. It tried to give me one last bear hug. Tried to fucking kill me. Kill me right then and there. But that was probably the fucker leaving my body. It was probably the higher force, or, the primal womb, the draconian primal womb, dragon womb, just pulling that motherfucker out of me. Who knows how deep it got in? It was probably like the flood. It probably had noodles all throughout my inside core, and that, what I thought was a bear hug, was really just, it was pulling everything out the sides of my chest and just pulling it out. So I leave you with this video. Please listen to it. Listen to it multiple times. That way, when you do get in a situation like I did, you'll know how to fucking handle it. You'll know how to remove the fucking entity. There's a spiritual procedure to doing it. It's locating it, where the fucker is feeding off of, setting up that spiritual barrier so you can separate it from you. Then the third step is the exorcism, the banishment, or if you're doing what my friend did, fucking eat the cocksucker and fucking burn it from within. That is fucking all for now. Until next time. Keep those fucking suckers away. You got ammo now to fucking fight back. If you got them on them, fucking set up those spiritual barriers. Remove them from you. Cut off their food supply. Banish, banish, banish. Or completely crush them and show no fucking mercy. Put them up against a wall. Line them up against the wall and blow their brains out their fucking beak. Out their fucking inkjet. And harvest the energy and reintegrate it back into your fucking system.